Hiya. Right, I don't know how to explain this. Um, if you go and see my other video about Christmas bauble, postable Christmas baubles, the two rings that you see are the base for those, and it sprung off that idea. But I need, well, I want to make one of these for somebody in my family. Um, this one isn't for that person. This was practice, sort of see if I could make it work and see if it all did what I wanted it to do. This one's a gift for somebody else, a very lovely person. I won't say who because it's a surprise. But they, for good luck or just messages or well wishes or just fancy. Basically, I darken the edge with a pink with some of that, what's it called? That flip flop colour paint. That stuff there. Dino. And I've darkened it up with dark pink and the blue one with dark blue. Then I went round with black ink because when you do that, the mica shows up. And now I'm gluing it in. Is proper not prepared. Fantasy film. What's the other word for fantasy film? Angelina film that I've ironed, but at the time I didn't have one of them little tiny irons, so I couldn't do it directly underneath. Now there's going to be a word come up on screen that says stamp. The video editor forgot to delete it. It's just here it is. It's a prompt for me to say, if you haven't got a stamp positioner, this is a CD case one that I made a bit back. I've got a video, please go and check that video out. They are brilliant for things like this. Now, as you can see, the stamp overhangs, and I don't want, because the fairy needs to look like she's in the bubble, and I don't want it printing that, we call them helicopters. What tree are they off? Ash or some sycamore. It's like sailing down on a sycamore thing, and I didn't want the fairy with the sycamore thing, so I screened that bit off with just a piece of paper and stuck it down with some repositionable bubble glue. Oh, this was a card that I had at the side that I've been keeping my brew on, and I suddenly saw this kid on it, so sorry, got proper distracted and did that, but I'll be doing more on that. Then what I did was I glossy accent a little bit, and with a wet brush pushed it to the outsides. You see that little pool? I'm pushing it to the outsides so I know that it's totally sealed in there, and then I can flood it with glossy accents, and that makes it shine, and it brings out all the colours in the Angelina film, and also seals your fairy on there. Printing on Angelina film takes a few attempts, so really if you've got a stamp positioner, then brilliant. This, I wrapped a piece of baking parchment round a dowel, and then I wrapped some, that was baby wipe, inky baby wipe round it, just to bulk it up and fluff it up a bit in the centre. And then see that ribbon off to the right, the stripy, basically I glued down the centre, then shredded the edges, then cut it in half. That's what the coloured stripes are. That is some, it looks like some kind of weird scrim that I've been using as a stencil, and I put that round it. And this is some ribbon that I painted turquoise, because there's little flecks of turquoise in the bubbly thing, so I wrapped that round it. I was going to go with that orange thread because there's orange in there as well. Then I remembered that Super Mickey, all is forgiven for missing the stamp, got me that from Newcastle, Hobbycraft at Newcastle, and it's Angelina film fibre thingies, weird stuff, shredded stuff. And I wrapped it round and around and around, and then held it with a pin and hit it with the heat torch. But if you do it and you've never done it before, just do it really, really quickly and duck and dive with your heat torch. Then I just made 2 little ones, just on a little stick, and I made a little seesaw, just so I could put some glossy accents on so they'd stay together, because I've never used that stuff before, and let them dry. This, I'm making a wrapped loop, thread a few beads on, and then wrapping a loop at the bottom. And it's a little bit odd to film doing this, so if you do need direction, if you can't find it, then tell me and I'll try and set up a different angle or something and do it again. But I did loads of them on my Dreamcatcher. If you look at the Dreamcatcher, you might be able to see them a bit better on that one, Valentine's Dreamcatcher. Now at the bottom of some of them, I've opened a jump ring, put a little tiny bead on, and then close the jump ring on the bottom loop, and it just sort of ends it off nicely. Some of them I've just done like a little wiggly snail shell or an S sort of shape on the bottom of them, just to finish them off so they're not just bare loops at the bottom. And them jump rings are minuscule, they're ridiculously small. I think I'm just showing you here that I'm linking them up like that, making chains, you know, of however long. Right, that was a piece of wire that I just wrapped around my dowel to see how many loops. Then I doubled it, measured it double out, and then cut it from the wire that I wanted to use. If you do that, it saves messing the piece of wire up that you're going to be using. Now here I'm making a loop, then going halfway round my dowel, and then making another loop, and that is in the middle of this piece of wire, sorry. So I've got a U with 2 little loops, just one twist in each, and then you take one to the right and wrap and wrap and wrap, and one to the left and wrap and wrap and wrap, and then put little squiddles on the end. You'll be able to see on the pictures. And when you take it off, it's a tube, a spring tube with 2 connection points in the centre. You'll be able to see it and hopefully work out what I've done. But that's to actually carry the message. It sort of looks like a homemade bead. So anybody would just think it were a bead and not a message. And you can put messages in wherever. I mean, the big boho bead, you could put a message down the centre of that and glue it shut, so the person who you're sending it to doesn't even know the wish that you've made for them if you wanted. But this one, because it was for what some people call friend in the box, I think they call it, friends, you know, on YouTube, I put 2 pieces of paper in, 2 wish pieces of paper. I put one on, this is for the bottom. I put one on, and there's a spare one for the person themselves to put theirs on. This is, I'm making it in an M with a big bottom loop, but I had to thread them on first, or else you wouldn't be able to get them on after you'd made it. So it's an M, and the 2 down pieces are curly, and the 2 up mountains get glued there, under there. I'm sure you'll be able to understand what, you know, by looking at it, and my garbled account of what I'm actually doing. And then I propped it up on a Tupperware lid, because obviously with all the beads and everything, and they're all different heights. So I made sure I could prop it, leave it in position, and move it out my way, because I wanted to carry on creating, obviously. So I super glued that in place, because it's important. There's a bit of weight on it, but it's important to stay. That's the top one, what you fasten the top bit to, and that S at the bottom of that goes on the top, on the top of the big bubble. You'll see. This, I picked 4 different colours of ink, and I wet the paper. That was the first taking. The second print's better. It's more softer shades in between, so I used the second one. And then I just went over with a bit of Indian ink, the Indian ink colours that I've been using throughout, so it's all matching. And then dried it. Sorry, my cat's rustling round on something. You got him? Yeah, thank you. Then I use a stamp positioner again and do a smaller fairy, and this is going to be for the message that I write on the inside, and that's like little stars, cascading little stars like magic. I don't know how else to. It's a pring, isn't it? Yeah. So I stamped them in a few colours that I'd stamped the background in. Again, I went round with a very little bit of black, and then that diner and Indian ink. And then I thought it's not glittery enough, so I put in some proper glitter. There. It's non sort of colour. It's all colours, but there's no colour in it, if you know what I mean. Roll it up, insert it into that spring tube. This is some metallic threads and some embroidery threads of, you know, that match, and odd beads that all match or don't match or go. If you use see-through ones and solid ones, it's visually more interesting, and it gives the see-through ones a chance for sun to come through, because they're like a sun. Well, it is like a sun catcher, you know, window dangle. Yeah, window dangle. So I tied the stringy bit to the top, you know, put a few beads on, tied knots, some small knots, some big knots, and threaded it up through the boho bead, or the centre of the boho bead. Cat. The centre of the they're the little boho bead that I made. Well, I made a few that's on there. In the centre of the big boho bead, I got a piece of wire, wrapped it, oh, you just went whizzing past it, wrapped it around and around, threaded a few beads on, then wrapped it around and around again. It's really bad to photo. It looks a lot better than that in real life. No, I'm not on about your photography, crikey. There's the bit in the middle of the boho bead. Your photography is brilliant. I don't know how you've done it. Shiny things are notoriously bad. But I'm really pleased with that boho bead. I absolutely love it to bits. I'm definitely going to be making a few more of them. Well, I need to make more anyway. That's what it looks like when you take the message out the tube, so you can see how I made it, so you could pause on this and follow it. That's my little message to the person. And that yellow stuff's actually glitter, it's not yellow. But as I say, shiny stuff, it's really hard to photograph. I hope that they really, really like it when they get it. And that's the little message. Yeah, and I hope they put their own little wish on in there too. That bigger one's for their wish. If you've enjoyed it, if it's given you any ideas, please give it a thumbs up. Please share it. You all know by now you do me a world of good to share my stuff. It really does help an awful lot with me not being out of, or not knowing, you know, myself, not being sociably media-y, not knowing what I'm doing. Hope you're all well, and thanks for watching. That is so pretty. I well like them. Yeah, cool. I'm gonna say goodbye. He's waving. He's in pain. He's hurt his bum coccyx. He fell. Poor thing, in America when they were away working. Right, you all take care. Thanks for watching. Bye. Oh, what do I do? Press that.